I think people will be surprised by how many data centers are already in Wisconsin because I didn't know that either.
Did you look at that map?
I didn't, but I was just looking at your show notes. I mean, again, 21 in Milwaukee. That's where are they?
Well, I think some of them are smaller than kind of what we envision as the
These big, great big campuses.
right. I can pull some up, but it's
Oh
at
boy, I'm looking at it right now.
datacentermap.com, and you can go ahead and look. I wanted to talk though more about the why data centers might be attracted to Wisconsin right now, or why they might not be. In the last budget cycle, not the current one that we're currently in, but in the 2023-2025 biennial budget, there was a sales and use tax exemption created to attract data centers to Wisconsin. It assumed that the data centers that would be interested would be maybe like some of these on the map that are maybe a little bit smaller and not the giant ones like the Microsoft facility in Mount Pleasant. And there's reporting from the outlet The Center Square that finds that there's been $70 million in foregone sales tax in the first 2 years of this being implemented. A good amount of that coming from Microsoft. So there's that. Did you hear about this at the time during the budget last cycle?
That skipped right past me.
Yeah.
But am I surprised? No. Wah, wah.
It's why the budget process is so important to pay attention to, and why
Agreed.
it's there are infinite stories in the budget process. So anyway, I haven't seen this reported out widely. So about a week and a half ago, there was an assembly committee that had a public hearing on kind of a technical update to this sales and tax exemption for data centers from the last budget, right? It's Assembly Bill 245. And it's supported by groups like Metro Milwaukee Association of Commerce, the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. They don't like to be called WEDC, the Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce, and the Wisconsin Utilities Association. It's also supported, though, by ARC Data Centers, LLC. And ARC Data Centers is a data center company. They said near Appleton. I think it's in Menasha. And their CEO testified during this public hearing. He explained how ARC Data Centers is a little bit different than your typical data center project, where they allow multiple customers kind of within the same building. And so what this technical amendment would do would allow a company like ARC Data Centers to qualify for some of these tax credits, because right now under the what's written, it doesn't allow you to qualify for those tax incentives if you have multiple tenants. I think they called it condominium style data centers, which is an interesting way to phrase it.
They're like data roomies.
Yeah, right. So, and speaking before this assembly committee, the CEO, kind of talked about how they're not concerned. He was asked about concerns that have been voiced about data centers, and he said, "Look, we generate the power on the property. There's a closed loop water supply." And he said the phrase, "All data centers are not equal," which I thought was interesting. Obviously, trying to distance himself, I think, from some of this other publicity. But he also spoke about why Wisconsin is competitive, as we all depend on data centers in some way, I think, but why Wisconsin is a key market. The things that he mentioned I haven't heard widely, which is that we're right in the center of the United States, which is helpful for companies on both the
East and West coasts.
Right, on both coasts. He spoke that he said there was not as much tornado activity or tornadic activity. I mean, we still have some tornadoes, but maybe not quite as many as somewhere.
Where's this guy from?
I don't know. That's a good
Kansas.
question. And then he also spoke about the fact that we are just attractive to places that want a disaster recovery strategy. So they want to back up the data somewhere, even if it's held somewhere else. Primarily, we're a good backup because Wisconsin is, all things being equal, relatively stable in terms of kind of climate. So I thought that was interesting, right? He also said, though, that Wisconsin would be just as good as neighboring states, except for this tax credit not applying evenly, and that their customers have gone to other states, including Illinois, Minnesota, and Texas. So, yeah, that's the update on that.
Chali Pittman is Civic Media's news director. She joins us on Mondays to do a little news recap. Check out Civic Media today. Subscribe. It is fantastic. Thank you so much, Chali. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
News coming up next. Keep it right here on the Civic Media Radio Network.